Brandon?
I'm well, thank you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I had
It is
been a
Brandon.
diabetic since the age of 3. That was when I was diagnosed,
Yep.
and everything was fine and well controlled with diet, insulin, exercise, and with what I ate.
Yeah.
And then in my late 20s, I started having issues because one of my kidneys developed two kidney stones, and it
Okay.
ended up just destroying my kidney. And because insulin is processed through the kidneys, it started causing me problems, meaning I would have hypoglycemia, and that means there's not enough sugar in your blood. Even if you're eating enough food, the insulin that I had to take to make up for the diabetes, which means that my pancreas isn't working, wasn't being used correctly because the kidneys couldn't process it. So I would eat food, it wouldn't digest properly into energy, and then I would just have insulin running through my body, and that would cause me to pass out. And so my body was out of whack. Nothing could work. We tried every different treatment. We removed the kidney, that didn't work. And so eventually it led up to getting a pancreas transplanted to make up the issue that was having with the breaking down of food into energy and the insulin issue. And so that was the need for the pancreas, and that's what I got it. Um, I was literally on my deathbed when I got the call for that
I take
transplant.
it. Yeah. So you.
Yeah, in about 4 years, I went from not really knowing what's going on to all the kidney surgeries, and then it just starting to, like, a low blood sugar or a hypoglycemic episode is the same thing as your brain simply running out of fuel.
Yeah.
And so it starts shutting down, and you become a non-functional human being. And if you're not found, your heart and lungs stop working. And that was happening 8 to 10 times a day. And I had
I was gonna
to
say.
quit working because I couldn't drive anymore.
Yeah.
And I devoted all my time to going to doctors to figure out what I could do, because I went from feeling great to just feeling like death every day, and I didn't want that anymore. So they got to the
No.
point where they said I definitely had to have it, definitely had to have it, and the word that is used is called medically necessary,
Yeah.
because we have a private insurance program here in the United States. And we have laws written of what has to be covered and what doesn't have to be covered, and what are optional coverages and things like that. And my pancreas only transplant is an optional coverage. So the insurance companies chose not to cover it. And so I sued, I did everything I could, and I couldn't get it covered. And so then I had to come up with the funds up front to pay to have the surgery done. Like, when looking back on it, I don't know how I got through it, but there's this innate will to want to live,
Yeah.
and you're
Of course.
willing to do whatever it takes to make that
Transplant.
happen. So I got the transplant the day after Christmas in 2018. So it's
Nice.
been my 2-year anniversary is coming up.
Yeah.
I've had 4 episodes of mild rejection, and last weekend I was in the hospital being treated for rejection again, and this time it's cellular rejection, T cell, and so this time they use the thymoglobin to really just destroy my immune system to kind of like stop that from happening altogether. So it's been going well. It's functioning really well. I feel good. My body is doing what it's supposed to, but it's one of those finicky things because it's such a delicate organ,
Yeah.
uh, that you have to keep a very close eye on it.
Oh yeah. Of course.
I
I
no
see.
longer have to
Yeah.
take insulin injections because the pancreas creates that for me. So it's a pretty neat thing that the diabetes aspect is currently not in my life.
Yeah.
It went from managing diabetes to now managing this
Transplant.
organ transplant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try to get out as much as possible and just get my heart beating and just enjoying the small things in life. because I was sick for almost 4 years where I couldn't do any of that kind of stuff. So it's like I'm making up for it. It is a lot to go through, and that mental clarity thing, it's so it's very interesting how it fades and you don't even notice it, but when it comes back, you're like, holy, like it's like you've been in a dark room and then all the lights turn on. You're like, whoa, I didn't.
Yeah.
That is pretty fun, and it's so much to process. Like when I think back on it and like just all the things that I went through and um, just how fortunate I am to be alive and just all those things. It is a gift, and I have a second chance at life, and so I do whatever I can to make sure that I'm enjoying it
Yeah.
and I'm not letting the small things bother me and just all that kind of stuff. And for me, it's not just talk, like that's reality. I'm not supposed to be alive, so I'm gonna enjoy this. I'm gonna enjoy this second opportunity as much as I can.
So, what advice have you got to say someone going through what you were going through, maybe at the transplant stage?
Anyone at the transplant stage, it's scary, like because you don't know much. You're really not told all that much. It's just
Yeah.
kind of like if there's a match, this might happen, that might happen. Um, so like my advice for people just at a transplant stage is to reach out to find other people online, like seriously, because there is no real, like if you Google it, it'll just give you statistic. It gives you like the procedure. It doesn't give you the emotions, what people think, the expectations, all of that kind of stuff. And it's overwhelming because you hear about all the failures and all like the bad things
Yeah.
when
I was gonna say that.
there's a lot of really good ones that go on. And I've been able to find at the time when I was going through it, I wasn't aware of people who are available online who are there to talk to you and
Mm.
just kind of tell you their experience. And that is what has made a big difference for me, especially when I
Tell
was
me about that.
healing. Yeah. So I had to raise 250,000 US dollars to fund my surgery. And the
Yeah.
way I did that was through social media. I was never on it before. And a lot of people donated from everywhere, and then I felt the obligation that I needed to show my recovery um, online as well,
Yeah.
and it kind of turned into more of me showing that the highs and lows of the aspect of organ transplantation and all the doctor's appointments and stuff like that, and then I also get to connect with people who are going through similar things and all that kind of stuff. So I have the social media because of that, and then I have my website, which you can get more information about me, brandonmouw.com, MOUW.
I'll put a link below the video in the comment section and things like that,
Perfect.
please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I mean, I answer every message. I am very active on it. And then um, I was I wrote a book about just like my part of it is my transplant journey, but it's kind of like what got me to the point to be able to overcome the impossible.
Yeah.
Because I've had a very interesting
Interesting.
life.
Well,
And
thank you very much for coming on.
thank you for having me, Danny. I really appreciate it. All right, man. Talk to you
Thank you.
soon.
Bye bye.